Hey guys, thanks for joining us this week. Today I have a super special guest, someone who has been an incredible mentor to me and also just a recovery leader here in Cumberland County, Steve Stone. He's got 41 years of recovery, recently just got appointed on the Opioid Abatement Council, and has just done so many things to help our community and help a recovering addict and lead somebody to Jesus. So enjoy the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Way podcast. Today I have a special guest with me, Steve Stone. Been an incredible influence in my recovery, but also in so many people's recovery here in Cumberland County. So thank you for taking the time to join me.
Thank you, Matt, for the invitation. Yeah.
Yeah, glad to have you, man. I know that some people may know you, but for those who don't know Steve Stone, give us a little bit of a elevator pitch of who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, I'm a bona fide son of Cumberland County, Tennessee, and lived here all my life. Grew up here, worked here, went to school, have a family here. I, gosh, my life experience is like a lot of people's. There's a lot to it, but I worked in a business, a family business with my family for literally 50 years
Wow.
from the time I was a young teenager. Went and got a college degree and continued to work. And along the way there, I like so many others back in the 70s, I experimented with substances, alcohol first and other drugs. And what started out as a once a week thing with my buddies
Yeah.
turned into something that was a couple of times a week, and it just the progression happened gradually over time to full blown addiction, uh, intertwined in with a great life, and in an environment that there was no alcohol or drugs. I am a first generation drug abuser. This was not a family tradition,
Yeah.
so I am kind of unique among others that have recovered or are struggling with substance issues. I am. There are not many of us that didn't come out of generational addiction.
Yeah.
So my life, in a lot of ways, was a lot easier for me because when I after 17 years of using and the progression, it got really bad. And finally got to a place where I found that spot where I had finally had enough, suffered enough loss, hurt enough people, done enough damage, gotten to where there was nowhere else to turn, and I found that place. I'm very grateful for it. A lot of people don't find it before they die. Woke up in the back of an ambulance a few times. Only to go into the hospital and be nursed back to health and used before I could ever get home.
Yeah. Go right back.
Went right back. And I'll try not to say so much.
No, you're all right,
I'll,
man.
I'll catch myself from doing that. It's a I found myself after in March of 1985 in a rehab in South Georgia called Willingway. It was the second time I'd gone there. First time I went in the spring of 1982, and after 6 months of uh, sobriety, I thought I had it figured out, and it wasn't a week or two, and I was using again, and that lasted until March of 1985. But by then, I found that place, and for me, it was humiliation and shame, guilt, shame, and remorse that really was a great motivator for me. And I went through this 6 week rehab. I came home. I went back to work, and I was very glad to have that chapter of my life behind me, and I got busy.
Yeah.
I got real busy, and so busy that I about drove people crazy I worked with, because I had this deep feeling that, like, I needed to catch up
Mm-hmm.
with what I had so long neglected, and it took a few years to find balance, because my work turned into an obsession.
Yeah.
Uh, like so many of us, we find ourselves, once we have stopped abusing substances, we pick up other things that we can get obsessive with
Yeah. Filling that hole.
to fill in that
Yeah.
hole. But one morning, right up the street here at a place called the Capri Restaurant, I had breakfast very often with my dad and my two brothers, because we all worked together. And a man came in and sat down, and he was trying to drink a cup of coffee, and he couldn't hardly get it to his mouth for shaking, and all he had was coffee, and he was just a table away from me. And I asked him if he was hungry. He said yes, and I'd just gotten my food. So I took my plate and I gave it to him, and I ordered more food. I said, "Here, you have this." That moment changed me, and I had asked God to give me a servant's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of that little prayer, I felt it happen. Literally, I felt God rearrange my heart. And so that began a journey for me into a place I'd never really been. Addiction had turned me into a selfish, self-centered, it's all about me kind of person,
Yeah.
and it was all about what I wanted next to make me feel good, and not considering everybody else around me. Um, and as I learned about serving, I got involved in more and more things that uh, were about helping other people. And for me, that probably saved my life. It
Yeah.
did, because that gave me something that I had never never really experienced, how good it felt to do something for someone else.
What an
And
incredible feeling that is, you
yes,
know?
yes,
Yeah.
and there's never any regret with that. There's no. I like to point this out. For me, there doing things that feel good and that have a sense of satisfaction, or pleasure and satisfaction,
Yeah.
are not the same thing. And we all love pleasure, but you know what pleasure is? It's fleeting. It's momentary.
Yeah.
If we do something that's satisfying, you can go back and look back at that in your mind years later and still feel good about it. So serving to me is something that is in that category. I'm grateful today, honestly, to have had the resources and the people behind me that were always willing to help when I came to them with a project.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was easy for me to do that, because
Awesome.
because I had a means, I had a way to accomplish a lot of things others couldn't have done, because they didn't come from the same background that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So that also has influenced me. But for the grace of God, there go I. So many people, their struggle has been so much more difficult than mine, because they had nowhere good to go home to go back to. They didn't have the people that were sober and of sound mind,
Yeah.
and living that kind of life, always in the background to support and encourage and to help get them back on the road.
Yeah.
So for me, that was always waiting on me. So I had I literally grew up in this in recovery with on the shoulder of giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible, man. We were just, I think it was one of the last few episodes I was with Will Taylor, and we were talking about that. Like, for a lot of us, that's what makes or breaks our recovery is like the community that we have. You know, I
Yes.
mean, it's great that we have a treatment facility. It's great that we got a place to detox, but like, where are you recovering? What is your environment? So
Absolutely, Matt, and that's why I just love what's happening here with this facility that you've opened up, and what I'm seeing and observing happening here. It's a beautiful thing.
thank you.
Yes,
I
and
know that it's not possible without people like you that are in the community and support what we're doing and help us be able to do this. You know.
well, I'm all in with you. I don't know. It's it's amazing what I know about Cumberland County as far as the number of people here that want to help, that do help, and the resources that are here
Mm-hmm.
for helping people that are willing to do their part.
Yeah.
It's so easy to help somebody that's really ready and that wants to go to work. It's really it's an absolute pleasure. But I've caught myself many times in situations over 41 years of recovery where I'm involved helping somebody that where I want it more than they want it,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be, there's a fine line between helping and hurting, and it's
Enabling.
really hard to see that sometimes, and unfortunately I've watched parents and grandparents go broke, short cycling um, consequences for children and grandchildren,
Yeah.
and it's hard decisions, and it's never easy. But I'm grateful today that we live in a community that's full of resources, and a lot of people in our recovery community that have been around many years. Some help and some don't, but those that do, I'm grateful for all of them because it really makes a difference. There were people that told me when I first showed up in my first recovery meetings, "We've been waiting on you." And when I first heard that, it's like, "What?" But literally, they had been waiting on me, and they were waiting on, and they're waiting on anyone to come
Mm-hmm.
in and help them find their way home, which they
Yeah.
certainly did for me.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I know that it may take you a second to think about it, but 41 years of recovery, 41 years that you've been just giving back to the community, and you've just been so involved in everything that goes on as far as in our recovery world, especially here in Cumberland County. But take us back to that, like, first 90 days to 6 months, and what was that like for you?
Well, I'll tell you after when I came home and my family was it was my second trip to rehab. I didn't get it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they were they weren't sure. They weren't sure, but you know, like I had a job to go back to, and I started going to work and showing up early and staying late. I started trying to take care of things at home. Uh, there were a lot of tears of gratitude, and I'm very grateful being able to see that I wasn't on that same path to the destruction I was going on, because I was about to go over a cliff, and
Mm-hmm.
those near death experiences are not something to take lightly. But my experience has been you can't do much with an addict, telling them that, do you realize how close you've come to dying?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to it doesn't phase them.
Mm-hmm.
But what does phase us is the pain, the guilt, the shame, the remorse, the just the regret from what we've done. And so many times, all that is medicated away for the moment. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that doesn't last long.
Yeah.
So we get back into that loop where more, and there's never enough more. That's why we have to be separated, I believe, from whatever it is we're abusing for a good period of time, to let our brains heal and to start experiencing life again. For me, I remember how there's so many simple things that I'd forgotten about. A sunset or a sunrise.
Yeah.
And I tell people how I hated the birds singing first thing in the morning. It was awful. And actually, that bothered me a long time. And do you know why? Why I hated that sound? Because it was a reminder I'm still awake and I haven't gone to sleep. I've been laying in this bed all night and have not slept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That for me was something that I love to hear the birds sing now. And most nights I do sleep all night, so that's a good thing too. But over the years, I've been fortunate enough to volunteer and get involved in some wonderful things in this community that deal with and help people that are challenged that may not necessarily be addiction, but most of the times it is addiction related. A great percentage of it is, and so. I've gotten a lot of satisfaction from that. I really enjoy watching someone come to life again, and you see the light coming on in their eyes, and you get to witness their motivation and their efforts to try to get on their feet. And it's a wonderful thing to be available at the right time with the right resources available to give someone else a hand up.
Yeah. I think we have somebody that says all the time, and you hear it said all the time, but like just the joy of being able to see the lights come on.
Yes.
Somebody else.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's one of the greatest feelings. And you talked about, that feeling of meeting that guy, and it was like just a change of heart. Like when you experience being able to be of service and be able to like get outside yourself.
Yes.
I think that's incredible.
Well, and you see somebody get ahead, they get a good job, or they're getting an education, or they're reconciling with their family, they're making living amends. People want to go quickly a lot. I've seen that, and I did it too. I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. That doesn't carry any weight.
Yeah.
What I believe, what I've seen, what carries weight is time. It's a living amends. It is walking it out one day at a time. It took me years to get as sick and as messed up as I was, and it took a while for me to regain that trust that I had broken time and time again.
Yeah.
And so it's a daily walk. It's it's a daily surrender, and the opportunity is there every day to do the next right thing, to learn how to make better choices. And I tell people, I need my senses 24/7 because I'm making choices and decisions around the clock in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I may never open my eyes, but I'm thinking, and there are things I'm deciding, and a lot of them have to deal with really basic stuff like getting up on time and doing what's in front of me that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And covering those bases, those basic bases in life that we all have to cover if we're going to live a successful life. And it's being disciplined enough to not spend that little bit of extra money I have because something's coming I'm going to really need it for. I may not know what it is now, but it will come. It always comes.
Yeah.
And discipline is something that if if I don't learn how to practice it, it will be imposed upon me. I know
That's what
you've
I
heard
was about
that.
to say.
You
Yeah.
know, we've heard
Yeah.
that. I think that comes. First heard it from our good friend Will Roberts.
That's what I was about to say. That's
Oh
who
yeah,
I've heard it from.
yeah.
I wanted to bring something up. We had touched on it early, and you had talked about filling that hole, and like when you first got clean, immediately it was well, if I work a bunch, work kind of became an obsession. But I know, and it's something that is you've been a great mentor and somebody to look to for that. Is you have an incredible walk with the Lord, and how has that like played into your recovery and played into your life, and what point in your life did that become so prevalent?
Well, it did. I'm fortunate. I was saved as a little boy at Cedar Lake Camp in Livingston, Tennessee. What a wonderful early experience that was. But at age 14, my parents quit taking me to church, or quit asking me. Well, I quit going,
Yeah,
and
understand.
I didn't come back until after I went to rehab. But yeah, my relationship with the Lord is everything. Without God's help, without daily surrender, without prayer, without without those biblical reminders in my life, uh, without the framework of His Word in my life, I can't accomplish anything.
Mm.
And I'm grateful because I came up in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and those 12 steps come straight from the Beatitudes, or the Sermon on the Mount, which is in the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and the Book of James.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight from the Bible. It is. But we're very gentle with people that have been wounded by the church or can't come with other beliefs or no belief at all. We can't force that on anyone. I mean, Jesus didn't force himself on me. He was waiting. He's waiting on me right now. He's always waiting. He's waiting on us to ask for help. He's waiting on us to surrender and to consider what he would do in the situation that we
Yeah.
find ourselves in, right?
Man,
I'd like to
that's
tell you
good.
I've always done that, but that's not going to be the truth.
Yeah.
The problems I've had in my life, Matt, 99.9% of them have all been self-inflicted. I'm not a victim.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've been a victimizer, but I am not a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that victim mentality is, although I know lots of people that have been victimized, but it's something that's really dangerous to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no rescuing a victim.
Yeah.
No, we have to get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. I was thinking the other day, and I've shared like a little bit of my walk before, and it's this was a new thing for me, and I had this encounter with Jesus, and my life changed. But I can look back on like all my life, and I can think of so many times that I haven't been good. I can think of so many times that like I have caused this self-inflicted pain for myself.
Yeah.
But in every single one of those times, He remains good. In every single one of those situations,
All
I
the
could see
time.
how good He was to
All the
me.
time. Yeah.
So that's good, man. That's good to hear.
Well, we have a perfect Savior, and He's waiting. He's willing, and He's always got the answer.
Yeah,
Always got the answer.
man,
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
I'm grateful today that I don't have any desire to change. I don't being stoned or high is not something. It just has no appeal to me. And yeah, it's been decades, but really, truthfully, from the very beginning, when I was done, I've been done since day one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been done since day one. That temptation did not linger with me.
Yeah.
And I laugh when I hear people talk about using dreams and how they're concerned because they had a using dream. For me, I've always thought that a using dream means I really care about not using.
Mm-hmm.
And those are other people think that, oh, I'm about to relapse because I've had a using dream. I don't look at it that way at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have them.
I've never woke up not feeling like, oh, thank gosh I didn't use.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
minute I wake
sometimes
up.
it seems very real, but
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why I went off on that direction, but
Well.
it's you know, for me, the right blend of for my life and my recovery is the combination of my Christian walk with my recovery meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm grateful for all of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm so grateful that Jesus is my primary everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
I think it's so, at least for me, and like what I've noticed is the more that I go to church or come to the way or anywhere in like a Christian fellowship atmosphere, or the more that I go to a 12-step fellowship, like either way, like you see hand in hand, I feel like I grow in both. Like, they're not, it's not like I have to do one and then the
No,
other. Like I see
no.
God work in,
I
in
do.
both,
I do too. I do too. And I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful that the stigma is not like it was when I first started this walk. There's still stigma, but it's up to us, those of us that live this life, to demonstrate to everyone else that we're just fine.
Yeah.
We're just fine, and we're dependable, and that we're productive members of society, and that we're willing to be engaged in whatever we can do in our communities, and first in our families, and our communities, to be of service. And life, I believe, good life. How can we be a Christian and not serve? Well, look at Jesus. Look at
Mm-hmm.
his example.
Yeah.
When was he? When was he not serving?
Yeah.
When was he not selflessly giving of himself? And lately I've come up with this, and I think it's a really good analogy. Somebody will ask me, well, do you think they're really in recovery? And I want to say this. Well, I believe recovery begins when selfishness dies and selflessness is born.
Hmm. It's good.
Uh, when you see folks doing things anonymously, without any opportunity for a pat on the back, uh, for one reason, because it's the right thing to do,
Yeah.
I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good
That's
sign.
good, man.
It's not everything, but I really think it's a good place, a good space to be in.
So you had mentioned service and something that me and you've briefly talked about, and
Sure.
just take a couple minutes and kind of fill us in on this new position that you're about to be stepping into.
Oh, well, I've been appointed to sit on the Opiate Abatement Council, which is it's a statewide Tennessee statewide group that grants money to organizations and uh, groups that want to help
Mm-hmm.
in communities. I think there's 6 different areas that it goes into, but
Yeah.
it's from a very large federal class action lawsuit where every state got uh, millions and millions of dollars to use to counter addiction. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. It has not begun yet. I've just got appointed, but uh, I'm very excited about the possibility of being able to make a contribution to the group, and hopefully uh, help somebody not die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
If there's anybody that I know that I think would be a great fit for something like that, it would be you. So
Thank you, Matt. Thank
I'm
you.
glad you're doing it. I always like to end with this question. If you had the chance today to have a conversation with somebody that is still struggling, that's still out there, that feels hopeless and feels broken and feels like there's no end to this madness, what would be a word of encouragement that you would give to them?
It all begins with surrender. And when we've totally surrendered, the fight's done. There's no struggle left.
Mm.
I mean, literally, when we give it to God, we give it to Him. And if we do that, that's a moment of freedom. We can't win a spiritual battle on willpower.
Mm.
That's God power. And addiction is a spiritual malady that we can't overcome without ourselves. I mean, by ourselves. We have to have God's help. And I use this one analogy. I have others, but I will use this one on the podcast. It's like trying to slap your own shadow. You just can't quite reach it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, in my own experience, the promises I made, oh boy, they were great promises. Tears running on my knees. Oh, I'll never do it again. I'm done forever. I couldn't keep those promises. But after I had the opportunity to get some help, ask for help. Yep. Don't do it alone. We can't do it alone. We got to have help.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I could get through a day. Then I learned I could get through a week. And for long, it was a month. And that month turned into years. And those years have turned into decades. And so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surrender.
It's awesome. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you, Matt. I've
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.